Hello everyone. Today I will talk about the film I Spit on Your Grave. The girl moved to a country house and was attacked by local residents.
Get out of here right now! I called the cops.
She called cops.
Jennifer comes to a small town and rents a house in the forest for 6 months. On the way to the house, Jennifer stops at a gas station. Johnny helps the girl fill up her car. He tries to flirt with the girl, but she laughs at him and says that he is not her type.
I got that.
Oh, I got it.
No, I got it.
Jennifer apologizes, but Johnny's friends are already laughing at him. Jennifer arrives at the house and immediately begins writing her book. The girl came here so that no one would distract her from her work. She brings a whole box of alcohol into the house and opens one bottle. The first night in the house goes well. The next day, Jennifer drinks alcohol and writes her book, but in the evening she hears strange sounds coming from the forest. Jennifer spills a glass of wine on her foot and goes into the house to wash her clothes. At this moment, someone films her on camera. The next day, while jogging through the forest, Jennifer hears strange noises again. Soon she finds an abandoned house. She returns home and notices that the faucet and toilet are broken. She calls a plumber and drops the phone in the water. Jennifer uses a hairdryer to dry her phone, but it doesn't work. Soon, a strange guy named Matthew comes to Jennifer. He fixes the plumbing and Jennifer is very happy about it.
Thank you.
Matthew leaves and did not take payment for the work done. Matthew comes to his friends and tells him that a girl kissed him. He says that she loves him. The friends laugh at Johnny again because Matthew is cooler than him. Johnny gets angry and says that all the girls want him and Jennifer will be no exception. At night, Jennifer tries to call her friend, but the phone doesn't work. She gets bored and decides to smoke. The girl falls asleep. At 4 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up due to a strange noise coming from the street. She finds a dead bird on the doorstep and goes back into the house. Jennifer approaches the laptop and realizes that she is not alone in the house. Men enter the house and surround the girl. Stanley takes out his camera and starts filming. Johnny tells the girl that she cheated his friend out of money. The men start touching her things and destroying furniture. Jennifer demands that they leave her house immediately, but Johnny is not going to stop. He threatens the girl with a bat and asks to show her teeth. The girl refuses, and Johnny hits her on the head several times. Johnny pulls out a gun and threatens Jennifer. He orders Matthew to take off his clothes and come to him. But Matthew doesn't want to do this. He is in love with a girl and asks his friends to stop. But Johnny puts the gun in the girl's mouth and wants to finish what he started. Jennifer manages to push Johnny away and takes the pepper spray. She runs out of the house and runs into the forest. In the morning, she meets 2 hunters and talks about what happened to her. One of the men turns out to be the sheriff. He goes with the girl to her house. The sheriff says the guys who attacked her have done something similar before. The girl says that one of the criminals had a pistol. The sheriff notices a glass of wine on the table and asks the girl why she needs so much alcohol. The girl says that this is a supply for 6 months and she drinks 1 glass of wine a day. The sheriff thinks the girl is lying. Soon the sheriff finds the drugs and asks the girl who they belong to. Jennifer lies and says she doesn't own it. But the sheriff immediately realizes that the girl is lying and calls for reinforcements. Jennifer tries to explain that there really was an attack, but the sheriff does not believe her. He asks her to turn her back to him so he can search her. At this moment, the man grabs the girl by the neck. Johnny and his friends enter the house. Jennifer realizes that the sheriff was not going to help her. The sheriff threatens the girl with his gun and forces her to dance. They force the girl to do their bidding, but Jennifer refuses. For refusing, the girl gets hit in the face. Johnny persuades Matthew to use the girl, but Matthew doesn't want to do this. His friends start calling him a coward and a weakling, but he still refuses. Johnny says that if Matthew doesn't do this, he will kill the girl, and Matthew decides to save her. He takes off his pants and pounces on Jennifer. They then leave the house, leaving Jennifer lying on the floor. The girl leaves the house and tries to find help, but she meets them again. Stanley turns on the camera and starts recording. Each of the guys committed a terrible crime. Jennifer gets up and with all her strength goes into the forest. The freaks are following her. Jennifer reaches the bridge and jumps down. The sheriff is going to fire his gun as soon as he sees her. But the girl does not emerge from the river. The sheriff takes the videotape and breaks it. He orders the guys to go to Jennifer's house and burn all her things. They also have to completely dismantle her car and search for her body every day. The sheriff arrives home, where he is met by his wife and daughter. The next day, the sheriff comes to Earl and says that Jennifer has packed all her things and left town. LR says that this is very good for him, because he does not return the money. Meanwhile, Johnny and his friends decide to end the search and think that they will not be able to find the body. But Matthew stays by the shore because he hopes Jennifer isn't dead. A few days later in the evening, Earl calls the sheriff and tells him that Jennifer has disappeared. He says that her friend called him and says that she has not answered her calls for a week. Earl asks the sheriff to call the girl back because he was the last person to see Jennifer. The next day, Stanley tells his friends that his videotape has disappeared. He explains that the sheriff broke the empty cassette. Johnny gets angry at Stanley and tries to beat him up, but Andy stops him. At night, Johnny finds a dead bird on his doorstep. He thinks that one of his friends decided to prank him. Soon, this begins to irritate him. The next day, the sheriff arrives home and finds a videotape on the table, but the wife did not have time to watch the recording. The sheriff comes to his gang and asks who gave him the tape. He finds out that Stanley saved the recording and puts the tape in his mouth. Johnny is sure that Matthew did this because he fell in love with Jennifer. The sheriff orders to find him quickly. Meanwhile, survivor Jennifer lures Matthew to an abandoned house. All this time, the girl lived in this house and was preparing to take revenge. Matthew apologizes to the girl and says that he wanted to help her. Jennifer asks him to sit next to him and says that she believes him. She then takes the rope and attacks Matthew. Meanwhile, the sheriff invites his friend to hunt. He gives the man some strong alcohol to drink and shoots him. The only witness was eliminated. Jennifer lures Andy and Stanley into a trap. They separate, and Stanley falls into a trap. Andy finds his wounded friend and does not understand what is happening. At this moment, Jennifer knocks him out with a blow to the head. Soon, Andy wakes up and realizes that he is in a very dangerous situation. Jennifer comes and turns on the water. Stanley is tied to a tree. The girl takes his camera and starts recording. Jennifer approaches him and uses her hooks to open his eyes wider. She then spreads fish guts on it. Jennifer returns to Andy. He insults the girl and says that he is not afraid of her. Jennifer pours lye into the water and removes the stick. Andy begs and begs for his forgiveness, but the girl waits for him to run out of strength. A minute later, Andy plunges into the water. Meanwhile, the crows attack Stanley. Crows peck at his face. Having finished the job, Jennifer goes to Johnny. She lures him into a trap and ties him up. To begin with, Jennifer asks him to show his teeth and removes them. Johnny continues to insult Jennifer and make threats. He promises to get out of here and kill her, but Jennifer doesn't listen to him. She takes the scissors and uses them. Jennifer leaves, leaving Johnny to bleed to death. Her next target was the sheriff. She pretends to be a teacher and comes to the sheriff's house. The man arrives home and learns from his wife that their daughter went for a walk with Jennifer. The sheriff arrives at the park and Jennifer knocks him out. A man wakes up in an abandoned house. His pants are down. Jennifer straps the trigger of the gun to Matthew's hand. The sheriff begs Jennifer to let him go, but the girl continues to mock him. After that, she just walks away and hears a gunshot. And this is where the film ends. Write your opinion about this in the comments. Like the video and click on the bell to be the first to watch new videos.